In 1992, the experts called it a below-normal hurricane season. 6 named storms, 1 major hurricane. The whole summer, people in South Florida went about their business. Pool parties, back-to-school shopping, Cheers finale in May. Then, August 24th happened. Andrew, Category 5. 25,000 homes gone. The quiet year became the costliest hurricane in U.S. history at the time. NOAA drops its 2026 outlook this Thursday, May 21st, and if early forecasts hold, you're about to hear the same 2 words your insurance company prays you'll hear: below normal. Here's why that phrase is the single most dangerous thing you'll hear all summer. I'm Ernie. I spent over 20 years writing business continuity plans for Fortune 500 companies and hospitals. And the rule we live by in corporate risk? Quiet forecasts are when failures get baked in. Colorado State University's April forecast for 2026 calls for 13 named storms, 6 hurricanes, and 2 major hurricanes. A normal season is 14, 7, and 3. El Niño is expected to ramp up wind shear and suppress development, so on paper, fewer storms. Sounds like good news. It's not. A below normal forecast doesn't reduce your risk. It reduces your attention. Homeowners skip the policy review. They don't pull the supply bins out of the garage. They figure they've got time. And then one Category 3 storm, wrecks every household that thought quiet season meant no season. Here's the business continuity framing. Risk isn't probability. Risk is probability times consequence. Andrew was 1 storm in a quiet year. The consequence was generational. Your job isn't to predict the season. Your job is to be ready for the one. So let's walk through the 4-part framework I'd run if this were a corporate site, translated for your house. Component 1. Pull your homeowner's policy. Right now. Today. In corporate disaster recovery, we call this document verification, confirming the contractual coverage matches the actual risk exposure. You'd be shocked how often it doesn't. 3 things you're looking for. First, the deductible. Most standard policies have a regular deductible, a flat dollar amount. But hurricane policies in coastal states often have a percentage deductible, usually 2 to 5% of your dwelling coverage. On a $400,000 home at 5%, that's a $20,000 out-of-pocket hit before a single dollar of coverage kicks in. The Florida Office of Insurance Regulation found that roughly 30% of denied Hurricane Helene claims were closed because the damage came in below the deductible. Second, flood coverage. Standard homeowners policies do not cover flood damage, period. The Government Accountability Office estimates only about 4% of U.S. homeowners carry flood insurance. Storm surge? That's a flood. Wind-driven rain pooling on the ground that runs back into your house? Often classified as a flood. About 21% of unpaid Helene claims were denied for exactly this reason. Third, anti-concurrent causation language. Fancy phrase, simple meaning. If wind and water both contributed to damage, your insurer can deny the entire claim under this clause. That's the insurance industry's favorite 3 words. Homework for this section. Pull your declarations page, find your hurricane deductible, find out if you have flood coverage. Write both numbers on a sticky note and put it on the fridge. That's it. 10 minutes. If you're getting value from this, tap subscribe. The next 3 components are where most households get blindsided. Back to it. Component 2, the 72-hour supply audit. FEMA's baseline guidance is 3 days of food, water, and medication per person. I tell my friends to plan for 7. The reason is simple. FEMA itself notes that in major events, federal aid arrives in days, not hours, and local resources are stretched thin. 3 days is the minimum, not the goal. What goes in the audit? 1 gallon of water per person per day. That's the baseline. Don't overthink it. Shelf-stable food that doesn't require cooking, peanut butter, canned tuna, crackers, the stuff you'd actually eat. Not the freeze-dried bucket your brother-in-law tried to sell you at Thanksgiving. A full 30-day supply of any prescription medication. Talk to your pharmacist now, not on June 5th. Cash, small bills. ATMs and card readers fail in power outages. $100 in 20s and 5s sits in an envelope, hopefully forever. Homework. Open whatever bin you used last hurricane season Check expiration dates. Replace what's expired. 12 minutes, tops. Component 3. This is where it gets uncomfortable. The 3 claim denial gaps I see homeowners walk into every single hurricane season. Gap 1. The wind versus water trap. Insurers will look at a damaged home and argue that the loss was caused by flooding rather than wind. Wind is covered, flood is not. After Hurricane Helene, about 16% of denials cited other coverage exclusions, including this exact classification fight. Without pre-storm documentation, you're arguing without evidence. Gap 2. The documentation gap. Insurance adjusters work from photos and records. If yours don't exist, theirs win. Walk through every room of your house, open every closet. Record video on your phone. Narrate as you go. Brand names, model numbers, and approximate values. Save it to the cloud, not your hard drive. The cloud. Your hard drive is in the house. Gap 3. The deadline gap. Most policies require notice of loss within a specific window, sometimes as little as 14 days. Some states have extended these windows after major events, but you cannot count on extensions. If your roof gets stripped on August 15th and you're still without power on September 10th, that deadline doesn't pause for you. The corporate version of this principle is that proof of loss documentation must precede the loss event. You cannot reconstruct what you didn't capture. Once it's gone, it's gone. Homework. Take the video walkthrough today before June 1st. Component 4. The part everyone skips. Recovery. In corporate continuity, we have a saying. The disaster is the easy part. The recovery is where companies die. Same for households. The storm passes in hours. Power could be out for 2 weeks. Roads closed, stores empty, insurance phone lines jammed. Here's the gear and the document you need ready before June 1st. A power plan. That means a generator, if your medical needs require it. But more importantly, a plan for what runs and what doesn't. Refrigerator, phone chargers, 1 fan, 1 light. That's it. Generator runtime is measured in fuel, and fuel is measured in trips to a gas station that may not have power. If you want the full power outage framework, I have a separate video on CPAP machines and medical equipment in blackouts. A communication tree. Who calls whom, in what order, and from where? Cell networks fail. Text often works when calls don't. Pick a single out-of-state relative as the family check-in point. Everyone calls them. That's a trick from corporate continuity playbooks. The central hub model, not the every person calls, every person model. And the document, the claims kit, a manila envelope or a shared cloud folder containing your declarations page, agent's phone number, claim hotline number, your home inventory video, recent photos of the roof and exterior, and a 1-page narrative of recent maintenance. When you replace the roof and service the HVAC, that last one defeats the pre-existing damage denial. Back in 1983, my dad kept a beat-up manila folder in the kitchen drawer labeled House Stuff. Survey, deed, and photos of the addition he built. That folder is your model. Make a digital version today. If your power plan still has gaps, I broke down the medical equipment blackout playbook in detail. Links in the description. Worth 10 minutes. 4 components. Policy audit, supply audit. The 3 gaps, the recovery phase. That's the corporate continuity framework, rebuilt for the house you actually live in. NOAA's Outlook drops Thursday. The headlines will say below normal and your neighbors will exhale. Don't. The 1992 season was below normal, so was 1994. Ask anyone in Homestead what August of '92 felt like. Your homework today, 10 minutes flat, pull your declarations page, write your hurricane deductible on a sticky note, stick it to your fridge. That single action is the first domino. Everything else falls into place after. I'm Ernie. This is Prepared Not Paranoid. Build the plan, skip the panic.